Like, I could have been whatever I wanted to be, especially living in London. Like, you know, or I could have been an individual that, you know, maybe was nominally Muslim, but did other things. So I still went through a self-discovery process when I was younger. And to be honest with you, in so doing, I started asking myself these existential questions. What is the purpose of what am I doing? I used to have a crisis. I actually had a crisis early on. I was like, what am I doing here?
How old do you think you were when this all sort of played out?
From 14 to 17.
Wow, they're big years then.
Yeah, and it was painful. It was the most painful thing. I've been through a lot of things in my life. Honestly, I've been through so much. Like, in terms of, I've had pulmonary embolisms, I've had a brain tumor, this, that.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was the most painful thing I've ever been through. The most painful thing I've ever been through is existential crisis. What am I doing here? Doubts, is Islam true? Is this, so I had to go through a process where I had to ask myself what religion was true? What world system is true?
I mean, obviously, there was a lot of years that went into that to ask you to sort of nail this in an interview like this. Is, you know, how difficult. But was there a moment where you remember that feeling in those teenage formative years of yours where you went, this is it, this is the road for me? there was a time I went to, I'm originally from Egypt and Alexandria, yeah? It's my hometown. So I went to Alexandria and it was Ramadan, and it was not a matter of intellectual proof, because I was looking at that. I was looking at what are the intellectual proofs of Islam. So I was thinking, because I was exposed to them, like, for example, there was a figure called Zakir Naik who I used to watch when I was younger. And he was a master of exhibiting the intellectual proof. What is the proof Islam is true? So he'd bring forward things like scientific things, you know, which are mentioned in the Quran, which he would say that could never have been known at the time. And he'd give examples like, you know, the Big Bang and the expansion universe and these kind of things. And that for me was okay, it was good. Like, how could the author of the Quran know this, the embryological stages of development of a human fetus, which even to this day I find quite surprising, to be honest with you, like, because it's mentioned exactly how the fetus develops. And then, you know, you have these people like Keith Moore and Canadian professors becoming Muslim because they feel like this knowledge could not have been achieved at the time. So there was stock intellectual proof, which I was exposed to as a youngster in my formative years. But then for me, it was actually a matter of going back to prostration. I prostrated and I said to God, you know, guide me. Like, and it was very sincere. Like, I wanted the all-powerful, the higher power to guide me to the straight path. And I feel like something clicked. And it happened in the next couple of weeks after that moment. And it was Ramadan as well. It was a very, you know, special time and whatever. Something clicked. And thereafter, I didn't have a doubt. Like, I was so certain. And for me, having certainty about my existence, about the purpose of life, about what I'm doing here, about where I'm going, where I came from, what created me, all these things, I say this without a shadow of a doubt. It is the biggest gift I've ever been given. To be removed of my existential crisis. What am I doing here? What is the purpose of it all? This nihilism that I had. Like, thinking, what is it? What is this? I remember that feeling well.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So having that removed was the best thing that happened to me.